Hello, this is Mr. Frank, and welcome to day 2 of I Could Find the Area of a Sector and its Arc Length. So here's where we are in the unit, almost done. Review and retake coming up, and summative assessment coming up. So quick review, the area of a sector is the central angle over 360 degrees. So that's a proportion, think of that as a proportion, times the area of a circle, which is pi r squared. And the arc length is the central angle over 360 degrees times 2 pi r, or the circumference of a circle. And just to show you a quick review, the area of a circle, that is, think about that as the whole thing that you're eating, right? That's the area. So I'm showing you with my mouse what the area is. Where the arc length, for this example, it's the crust of the pizza. It's just the outside, it's think about part of the perimeter of the circle. So let's get some practice. That's what we're going to focus on today. So practice time. Notice I put those two equations up here for you to look at and you can use. So we need to figure out what is the arc length given a 135 degree central angle and a radius of 9 yards. And I want you to round to the nearest 1/100th. So I'm going to give you a clue here on which formula we're going to use. I don't know if you saw that, but the L, or arc length, is shaking. We're going to use that one. I'm going to ask you to pause and see if you could figure it out, and then when you got it, come on back. Alright, let's see how you did. So you should be using this formula. Arc length equals central angle over 360 times 2 pi r. So what is n? N is the central angle, which is 135 degrees, and r is 9 yards. So we'll substitute those numbers in, and we're going to change pi to 3.14, and that you're just going to have to memorize. Oh, wait for the bells. All right, so pi is 3.14. So now we're going to multiply all of this through. We have a proportion here, so we'll do 135 divided by 360, and then we can multiply the others. We get 0 and 375 thousandths times 56.52, and we multiply those. And I'm rounding, round to the nearest hundredth, and you get 21.20 yards. I hope you got that answer. If not, check over your work and see what you can do better the next time. I hope you got it right. All right, let's practice some more and let's eat. All right, I'm always hungry for pizza. You guys know me well enough to know that. So we want to eat. We're really hungry, so we want to choose the option that gives you more pizza. So we want to see which option is better. And if we're talking about what we're going to eat, we're going to be using the area of a sector. So here are your two options. Option 1, 3/4 of a 6-inch radius pizza. The central angle, I'm helping you out here, 3/4 of a pizza, the central angle would be 270 degrees. And our other option is here, you can have half of an 8-inch pizza. Central angle is going to be half of 360 or 180 degrees. So those are your two choices. Take a guess first. Which do you think is going to give you more pizza? Now I want you to figure it out for each one. So pause here and come back once you've figured both of them out. All right, let's see how you did. So the area of a sector for the first one, I'm going to use my area formula. So my central angle is 270 degrees. I put 270 over 360, and now I want to multiply that by the area of the circle, which is pi r squared. In this case, pi times 6 squared. So we're going to multiply all that out. I changed this fraction here, 270 over 360, I changed that to a decimal. Pi is 3.14, and 6 squared is 36. So I multiply that, and I hope you got 84.78 inches squared. That's the area of the first option. Second option, my central angle is 180 and my radius is 8. So I'm going to change 180 over 360 into a decimal. If I reduce it, it's 1/2, and as a decimal, it's 0.5. Pi is 3.14, and 8 squared is 64. So if I multiply that through, I would get 100.48 inches. I am much better off with option 2. Even though it's only half the pizza, I get more because the radius is bigger. So I'm going with option 2. Hope you did too. Hope you got it right. So now Let's continue eating, but this time I love pizza crust. I only want to eat pizza crust. So which one has more? So I'm going to use my arc length to figure out my pizza crust. And I got the same two options. So pause here and come on back once you've got the length of the pizza crust for each of these options. All right, welcome back. So we should be using the arc length formula. I put in my central angle of 270, and now I'm going to multiply that by the circumference of the circle, 2 pi r, and r in this case is 6. So I'm going to change my pi to 3.14, and 270 over 360 as a decimal is 75 hundredths. I multiply that through, ooh, not bad, 28.26 inches of yummy pizza crust. Let's see if that's a better option than the one below. My central angle is 180 on my second option, and my radius is 8. All the other numbers stay the same, and I'll multiply through. Notice my decimal here, 180 over 360, is 5/10. So I'm going to multiply these four numbers, 25.12 inches. If I like crust, and you know I do, I am better off eating all of this yummy crust. So I'm going to go with option 1 when it comes to crust. All right, finding the central angle. So recall that a circle has 360 degrees, and remember I showed you this. So I'm going to separate these lines, and you can see the degree symbol right here of the arc. Now look at this. If I stop at 90 degrees, that's a quarter of my way around the circle. If I stop at 180 degrees, that's halfway around the circle. 270 degrees, there we go, is 3/4 of the way around the circle. And if I go all the way around the circle, I'm going to end at 300 and, oh, I can't, doesn't let me get to 360. Well, I thought I can get to, there we go, 360 degrees. That's all the way around the circle. So remember that. So if I want to divide a circle, and I want to find the central angle, and let's say I'm dividing the circle into equal sectors. All right, so let's take this pizza. Hard to see, but this is a four slices here. There's a cut down there, and there's a cut down there. There are 4 slices. So if I look at that whole circle, here's one slice. You can see that's a quarter of the pizza. And 360, I'm going to divide 360 by the number of pieces. There are 4 pieces. So 360 divided by 4, the number of slices, 4 gets me 90 degrees. So if I have a pizza with 4 slices, each slice has a central angle of 90 degrees. So what I want you to do, I want you to figure out the central angle of a pizza with 6 slices. So put that over here, or put that on your paper or an Edpuzzle on the next page. Then I want you to find 8 slices. What's the central angle with 8 slices? And notice, this is some yummy Chicago deep dish pizza. So even though I'm from New York, I do enjoy Chicago deep dish pizza from time to time. And then, of course, we got the 12 cut. We got the 12 cut. That's good when you got a lot of kids involved. You do the 12 cut because lots of pieces, they're not as hungry. So what's the central angle when you have 12 pieces? So I want you to figure out these central angles. And pause here. You'll put that in Edpuzzle, and you'll also come back when you're done. All right, so welcome back. So you'll also bring that back to class tomorrow, and bring the table back, or your answers back from the table. So also capture here what did you learn, or what were you reminded of, and questions that you have are. Hope you enjoy the video.